Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to a review of the Boxing Day Premier League and Championship fixtures and days after that. And starting off in the Premier League with Brentford 2, Tottenham 2, Brentford went 1-0 for Yanal and then had a goal from Tony Disallowed, but he made amends in the second half, making it 2-0. But Kane with a header pulled one back, and then Højbjerg 5 minutes later equalised for Tottenham. They pressed for the winner, but in the end couldn't find one. And this is a game which I think both teams will be frustrated with. Tottenham maybe a game they felt like they won, but Brentford being 2-0 up, of course, will be frustrated. But moving on into Southampton 1, Brighton 3 at St Mary's. Lallana in the 14th minute gave Brighton lead through a bad mistake from Bazunu, and Perot then scored an own goal in the 35th minute, and Solly March in the 56th minute with a beautiful goal made it 3-0. And Ward-Prowse scored off a penalty rebound in the 73rd minute. A game which Brighton for me were just the best team. Southampton were miles off it here, but Brighton really good team performance from them. They looked a good side, but Southampton really poor. They're in deep trouble. Moving on then to Leicester 0, Newcastle 3 at the King Power. Wood, Almiron and Joe Linton with the goals. This is a game which Newcastle just dominated right from the outset, really. Started first, Leicester can deal with them, and in the end it resulted in a comfortable win. I think Newcastle will be absolutely delighted. Third in the table at this stage of the season, probably beyond their wildest dreams, and what a season they're having. But for Leicester, a really poor restart to the season, after getting some decent momentum before the break. Moving on then to Everton 1, Wolves 2 at Goodison Park. Yerry Mina in the 7th minute gave Everton the lead, but Podence in the 22nd minute equalised, and in the 95th minute it was 8-0 for Wolves, who gave them the winner. In a game with not too much between them, I think Everton will be slightly frustrated to come away with this game with nothing, but for Wolves, what a huge result that could be. Lopetegui's first game in charge, exactly the momentum they needed. And you do really feel that could have a big effect on them. Moving on then to Palace 0, Fulham 3 at Craven at Selhurst Park. A game which Palace had two players sent off. Bobby Reed in the 31st minute gave Fulham the lead, but Mitchell 3 minutes later and Tompkins for a second yellow in the 57th minute sent Palace down to 9 players, and Fulham took advantage of that through Reed and Mitrovic. In the end, dominant performance from Fulham given the circumstances, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and Fulham did that very well, but for Palace a really poor off day here. Moving on then to Villa 1, Liverpool 3 at Villa Park. Salah gave Liverpool a lead in the 5th minute. They thought they doubled it, but an offside from Matip in the 20th minute meant they hadn't, but they had in the 37th minute from Van Dijk. Watkins pulled a goal back in the 59th minute, but Liverpool got the winner 10 minutes from time, and a deserved win for Liverpool. More Liverpool than we used to seeing from last season, but that's a really good performance from them and a good way to get back up to form. After the breaks, they'll definitely be happy with that and looking to build on that really now, you feel. Good result for them. Moving on then to Arsenal 3, West Ham 1 at the Emirates. Saka had a goal disallowed in the 5th minute before and they were made to pay for it in the 27th minute through a Ben Rama penalty, but Saka, Martinelli and Nketiah in the second half completed a comeback from Arsenal, and in the end they got a deserved 3-1 win. Really good win for them at Arsenal. Still flying high at the top of the table, showing character to come back. West Ham, although they came away with nothing, it's still for me an improved showing in the game against the best team in the league so far this season for a long while. Moving on then to Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 0 at Stamford Bridge. Havertz and Mounts with the goals in the first half for Chelsea, completing quite a simple win really. They were definitely the best team here, but of course the concerning news for Chelsea from this game will be Reece James going off injured in the 53rd minute, which will obviously be worrying, as it seems to be a similar injury before the World Cup. Maybe he was rushed back, maybe he wasn't, who knows. Still deeply worrying news for Chelsea, but on the whole, a good win for them. For Bournemouth, though, not great. Moving on then to Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 0 at Old Trafford. Rashford and Martial in the 19th and 22nd minute gave United 2-0 lead early on, before Willy Bolly in the 41st minute had a goal disallowed for offside, but Fred in the 87th minute completes the win for United. In the end, United kind of never really got out of second gear here. A dominant performance for them. They'll be really pleased with it. For Forest, a lot to work on, but a comfortable win here for United. Moving on then to Leeds 1, Manchester City 3 at Elland Road. Rodri just before half-time gave City a lead before 2 goals from Haaland early in the second half made it comfortable, and Struich in the 73rd minute made it 3-1, but that's nothing more than consolation goal, and City dominated the game in the end. Good restart for them. Definitely the best team for them, and yeah, good result. Leeds though, concerning, always going to be a bit of a free hit this one though, so don't think you can read too much into it, but yeah, good result for Man City on their return. Moving on then to the Championship action, and starting off with the early games on Boxing Day, and Watford 0, Millwall 2, and yeah, this was a really bad day for Watford. This was, going behind early on through Volkshammer in the 22nd minute, and Kamara was then sent off, making it even worse for them. And yeah, that meant they had to play the second half with 10 men. Fleming got another goal in the second half, making it a comfortable win for Millwall. Really good performance from them, but Watford, another off day. And yeah, the squad is just not great, is it? Moving on then to Sunderland 2, Blackburn 1 at the Stadium of Light. Stewart with an own goal gave Blackburn the lead. In the 18th minute, he made up for it 4 minutes later by scoring from the penalty spot, and later on in the 91st minute through Sims, giving Sunderland the victory. And what a great result this was for Sunderland. Showed real characters come from behind, and did it just in the nick of time, so that's obviously a great result for them. And I would say yeah, it was probably a deserved victory. They played really, really well here, so they'll be delighted with that. Moving on then to Sheffield United, and they were victors yet again, this time as they took on commentary, and McCarthy gave them the lead before Gyökeres missed a penalty in the 48th minute, but Clark and Doyle made it 3-0. Gyökeres did score though in the 75th minute before Egan in the 77th minute was sent off, but of course that didn't really matter. And despite some late pressure from Coventry, Sheffield United held on to what was a pretty comfortable victory, and they're looking really good at the top of the table. For Coventry though, all the issues off field, and yeah, not been the best result for them really. Moving on then to Rotherham 2, Stoke 2 at the New York Stadium. Thompson gave Rotherham lead in the 45th minute with an own goal before Campbell made it 1-1. Connor Washington made it 2-1 before Peltier own goal made it 2-2. And then yeah, Stoke kind of piled on the pressure, but in the end couldn't find the winner, which will be frustrating for them. But Rotherham, yeah, I think it's a game where both these teams will really feel like it could have got free, so maybe both these teams slightly disappointed. Moving on then to Preston 1, Huddersfield 2, a dramatic late comeback for Huddersfield after Cunningham gave Preston lead in the 34th minute, but Rhodes and Hayden, 2 late goals, crucial goals for Huddersfield, really brings them a bit closer. Wasn't much in the game really, but Huddersfield will be delighted with that. For Preston though, after that 4-win away win at Blackburn, they kind of really haven't backed that up, which is disappointing, because that's what they're really hoping to do, to get really in amongst the playoff race. It's so tight there, you don't really know who's going to end up where, but yeah, this will be a frustrating missed opportunity. Moving on then to Borough 4, Wigan 1 at the Riverside. Force Akpom with the goals to make it 3-0, but Asgard in the 61st minute pulled 1-0, but Akpom completing his hat-trick in the 93rd minute gave Borough the win. And yeah, what can you say really? Maybe a game that didn't quite warrant a 4-1 scoreline, but Borough, definitely the best team here. The revelation on the carrot continues up to 11th. They're playing really well at the moment, but for Wigan, concerning result, and the table isn't looking good for them at the moment. Moving on then to Hull 1, Blackpool 1 at the KCOM, and yeah, Carey gave Blackpool the lead in the 28th minute, and Thornley was sent off in the 53rd minute, and Stupinant equalised for Hull in the 77th minute, and that gave them 13 minutes. Final winner against Temp and Blackpool, which disappointingly for them they couldn't, and that will be a disappointing result I feel like for them. Game they would have been targeting, especially with Blackpool down to 10 men for so long, but for Blackpool on the road, especially given the circumstances, that's not the point. Moving on into Bristol City 0, West Brom 2 at Ashton Gate. Phillips in the 9th minute and Thomas Asante in the 75th minute with goals for West Brom. And yeah, the revolution under Corberán continues. Really, really solid performance from him. Nigel Pearson, deep pressure now at Bristol City. You kind of feel like he's kind of on his last legs, unfortunately. But yeah, good win for West Brom. Their charge up the table continues. I can see them being in playoff race soon. Moving on then to Cardiff 0, QPR 0 at the Cardiff City Stadium. And yeah, Cardiff and QPR, I don't know, there wasn't much to choose between two sides. One shot goal in the whole game. That for QPR. Let's put it this way, probably not the best game we've ever seen. And yeah, draw a 0-0, probably a fitting scoreline for this game. But QPR still in the 7th, Cardiff down in the 20th. Yeah, a game which, let's put it this way, wasn't the best. Moving on then to Luton 2, Norwich 1 at Kenilworth Road. And dramatic game this. Campbell in the 61st minute gave Luton the lead before Pookie equalised 8 minutes later. Osho was sent off with 10 minutes to go, but Luton still somehow managed to find a winner in the 89th minute through Cordy Woodrow, despite Norwich piling on the pressure, and that ultimately marked the end for Dean Smith. Given the squad that Norwich have and the performances, I would say it's probably a fair decision, even though some people may look at it and feel it's harsh, especially in the circumstances. This was a really, really poor defeat, but big one for Rob Edwards at Luton. Moving on then to the 27th action in the Championship, Reading 2, Swansea 1. Andy Carroll in the 27th minute gave Reading lead before Mayte missed a penalty, but Ince in the 33rd minute made it 2-0. Cullen in the 71st minute made it 2-1. But Reading, despite being under pressure, not having much of the ball, just about held out. And yeah, on the whole, wasn't a lot between the team size, but Reading, being clinical, gave them the win. That's a big win for them. But for Swansea, poor form continues. Moving on to Burnley 3, Birmingham 0 at Turf Moor. And yeah, Burnley, better side here for me. Of course, they're just flying them over. It's like a Premier League team playing the Championship, really. Zara in the first minute, Roberts in the 44th, and Teller in the 93rd. Giving Burnley the win. And yeah, not much many teams can do about them at the moment. They're just playing so well. And yeah, like I say, it's looking certainty for them to go up at the moment. Birmingham, not the best performance, but not a lot you can do against this Burnley side right now. But anyway, guys, that's it for you. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, loads of comments down below. Find us to go for daily football news and subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.